Have you ever felt like something inside you is changing? Like you're becoming more aware of your actions, your faith, or your connection to Allah? You've noticed a shift in how you see the world around you. You feel more drawn to doing good and strengthening your relationship with Allah. This feeling is something many people experience as they grow spiritually. In Islam, everyone has the potential to draw closer to Allah through their actions, their faith, and their taqwa, God consciousness. No one is chosen in the way some might think, but if you strive to live a life that pleases Allah, you are chosen in the sense that you are actively seeking His guidance. It's about being sincere in your worship and working on your connection with Allah. If you're feeling like things are shifting inside you, like you're becoming more aware of your actions or your connection with Allah, know that you're not alone. In this video, we'll talk about 7 signs that indicate you're on a path of spiritual growth. If any of these sound familiar, just remember, it's all part of your journey. You're moving closer to the guidance and peace that Allah offers. Sign number 1. You feel more intuitive about right and wrong. You know that feeling when something just doesn't sit right? Like you're talking to someone, and suddenly your gut instinct screams, something feels off. Or maybe you catch yourself saying something and instantly think, wait, that wasn't the best move. It's almost like a built-in radar going off, telling you when something is out of line. And then you realize, hold on, maybe you're not overthinking. Maybe your sense of right and wrong has simply gotten sharper. You start stepping back from certain people, situations, or even conversations, knowing deep down that they're not worth your time. It's like you've developed a clearer vision. You can now see through the noise of today's world, the fake personas, the superficial chatter, and the distractions pulling people in different directions. And the truth? You've come to realize something important. You don't need to keep up with all that. You choose to focus on what matters. You stick with the truth and distance yourself from what's toxic. Because at the end of the day, no one else will answer for your choices but you. You are the one who will stand before Allah on the day of judgment, not them. And that's why you've started putting everything else aside, focusing only on what aligns with your faith and values. It's not about impressing anyone anymore. It's about making choices that bring you peace of mind and keep you on the right path. That's the real shift happening inside of you. And it's a clear sign of spiritual growth. Sign number 2. You start letting go of people who drain your energy. You know that feeling when certain people in your life just drain you? Maybe it's a friend who always brings drama, or someone who constantly weighs you down with negativity. At some point, you start to realize that no matter how much you try to make things work, the relationship just feels off. It's not bringing anything positive to your life anymore. At first, letting go can be hard, especially when it's someone you've known for a long time or someone close to you. But then, a question creeps into your mind. Why am I holding on to this? And when you realize that you have been the one carrying the weight of this relationship, everything changes. You begin to see that peace doesn't come from forcing connections that no longer serve your spiritual growth, from constantly dealing with toxic people. It comes from protecting your energy and focusing on what truly nurtures your soul. Islam teaches us to choose company that supports us in doing good, staying grounded, and strengthening our faith. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "A person is on the way of his close friend, so look at who you make your close friend." Sunan Abi Dawud 4833. This isn't about cutting people off for no reason, but when you realize that certain relationships are holding you back or pulling you into unhealthy patterns, it becomes clear. Peace comes from distancing yourself from those who don't contribute to your well-being. And sometimes, letting go of people is the best thing you can do for yourself. Sign number 3. You begin questioning your old beliefs and habits. Have you ever caught yourself suddenly questioning something you've always believed or done? You're sitting there, and you think, wait, why did I think this way all this time? Why did I keep doing that? It's as if your old habits, the things you once accepted without question, just don't sit right with you anymore. This isn't about rebellion or rejecting everything from your past. It's about realizing that you've outgrown certain ways of thinking and living. Maybe you've started questioning the value of the things that used to matter to you, like constantly chasing after material success or caring too much about how others perceive you. The more you reflect, the more you realize these things never brought you true fulfillment. It's like waking up from a fog. Islam encourages self-awareness, reflection, and continuous growth. The Quran reminds us, "And do not pursue that of which you have no knowledge." Indeed, the hearing, the sight, and the heart, all of those will be questioned. Surah Al-Isra 17:36. This is a call to always question, reflect, and be mindful of why we do what we do. It's not about blindly following patterns. It's about recognizing the need to grow. And when you start to notice how much you've evolved, it's empowering. Because this shift in perspective is a clear sign that you're aligning more with the truth. Sign number 4. You feel less attached to the material world. If you've been noticing a shift in yourself, you might find that material things no longer hold the same importance they once did. It's not that you don't enjoy nice things or the comforts of life, but you're beginning to realize they're not everything. Something inside you is telling you that there's more to life than what's on the surface. You might find yourself less excited about the latest trend or constantly comparing yourself to others. Instead, you start appreciating the simple things, moments with family, the peace in your heart, and the blessings Allah has already given you. When you begin feeling this shift, it's a sign that you're moving away from distractions and focusing on what truly matters: your faith, your connection to Allah, and your inner peace. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Wealth is not measured by how much you possess, but by how content you are with what you have." Sahih al-Bukhari 6446. This hadith reminds us that true wealth isn't found in accumulating possessions. It's found in being content with what Allah has given us. The issue isn't wealth itself, it's the attachment we have to it. When wealth is used the right way, helping others, supporting causes like building mosques, aiding the poor, and benefiting the community, it becomes a source of blessing. However, when wealth becomes the central focus of our lives, when we seek through unlawful means or using it selfishly, that's when it becomes a problem. So, if you've been feeling less caught up in material gain and more at peace with what you have, know that this shift is a sign of spiritual growth. You're seeing the bigger picture, and that's a beautiful thing. Sign number 5. You start to value time more than anything else. Have you ever felt like time is slipping through your fingers? One moment the day begins, and before you know it, you're thinking, where did all the time go? In the past, maybe you didn't think twice about spending hours on distractions, scrolling through social media or wasting time on things that didn't really matter. But now, something is changing. You're realizing just how precious every moment is. You begin to see time as a gift from Allah, one that should not be wasted. It's not just about being busy, it's about being intentional with how you spend your time. You start prioritizing what truly matters. Check. Strengthening your faith. Check. Spending time with loved ones. Check. Doing good for others. You begin to feel that time is something you need to make the most of, because at the end of the day, it's the one thing you can never get back. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "There are two blessings which many people lose, health and free time." Sahih Al-Bukhari 6412. This hadith reminds us that time is a precious blessing, and we should be mindful of how we spend it. Instead of letting time slip away on things that don't serve your purpose or your connection with Allah, you start to see how every moment counts. Whether it's using your time for prayer, reflection, or good deeds, you realize that how you spend your time is what truly shapes your life. Sign number 6. You start to feel more at peace with the present moment. Have you ever caught yourself worrying about the future or regretting the past? It's something we all do. But lately, you've noticed something different. You're starting to find peace in the present moment. You're not as anxious about what's coming next, and you're not stuck in what could have been. You've realized that what matters most is right now. When you start to live in the present, it feels like a weight has been lifted. You stop stressing about things you can't control. You let go of unnecessary worries. You focus on what's right in front of you. You find comfort in knowing that Allah is in control, and all you can do is your best, right here, right now. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Live for the present moment, for the future is uncertain, and the past is gone." This hadith encourages us to embrace the moment we are in, to not dwell too much on what's behind or ahead. It reminds us to trust that everything is unfolding as it should and to connect with Allah in every moment. If you've been feeling more at peace in the present moment, that's a sign you're starting to align with the rhythm of life and with Allah's plan. And that peace is a beautiful part of your journey. Sign number 7. You begin to let go of the need for approval from others. In a world where everyone's opinions seem to matter, it's natural to crave validation, whether from friends, family, or even strangers online. But something inside you is shifting. You've probably noticed it. You no longer feel the need to constantly seek approval. You stop measuring your worth based on what others think. Instead, you focus on what pleases Allah. The more you align yourself with your faith, the less you care about others' opinions. It's like a quiet confidence is growing within you, knowing that your value isn't defined by social standards. Your worth comes from your actions, your faith, and your connection with Allah. The Prophet Muhammad said, "When Allah loves a servant, He calls Jibril and says, 'I love so-and-so, so love him.' Jibril then loves him and calls out to the inhabitants of the heavens, 'Allah loves so-and-so, so love him.' And the inhabitants of the heavens love him, and then acceptance is placed for him on earth." Sahih Al-Bukhari 3209, Sahih Muslim 2637. This hadith highlights the true source of approval, the love of Allah. When you start living for His approval and not for the approval of anyone else, your life shifts. Your focus changes. You find freedom, because if Allah is pleased with you, what else matters? That's all that truly matters. You stop chasing external validation and instead seek to do what brings you closer to Him. This shift is freeing. You begin to live authentically, doing what feels right for you and your faith, not based on others' expectations. And in that freedom, you'll find a peace that no amount of external approval can ever give. A message for you, my dear brothers and sisters. As we've explored these signs together, it's clear. You're on a transformative journey. If you've been noticing shifts in your heart, questioning your old habits, and feeling more at peace with the present moment, know that these are all signs of a deeper connection with Allah. You're not imagining things. This is part of your growth, and it's something truly beautiful. A reminder for your journey. You don't have to chase approval from others. You don't have to get lost in the distractions of this world. Your worth is defined by your sincerity, your faith, your actions. As you focus more on what pleases Allah, you'll find that the things that once mattered, like material success or seeking validation, become less significant. The peace that comes from being true to yourself and your faith is priceless. If this message resonated with you, comment, "Ya Allah, guide me," below. Your words might inspire someone else who's on a similar path. And don't forget, liking and subscribing helps us continue sharing these reminders that bring us closer to Allah. May Allah guide you, protect your heart, and keep you steadfast on this beautiful journey. Ameen.